Imagine living your entire life with no freedom. For the Israelites, this wasn't imagination. It was reality. For generations, they lived as slaves in Egypt. Their days were filled with hard labor, strict control, and constant exhaustion. They had no power, no voice, and no clear future. In their suffering, they cried out for help. According to the Bible, God heard their cries and chose a man named Moses to lead them out of slavery. Moses didn't see himself as a leader. He doubted his ability to speak well, and often questioned whether he was the right person for the job. But God still called him. After a series of powerful signs and warnings, Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, finally allowed the Israelites to leave. For the first time in centuries, they were free. They packed up quickly and began their journey out of Egypt. But freedom didn't last long. Pharaoh soon changed his mind. Angry and unwilling to lose his workforce, he sent his army after them, soldiers, horses, and chariots, moving fast and with force. As the Israelites traveled forward, they suddenly faced a terrifying sight. In front of them was the Red Sea. Behind them was Pharaoh's army, closing in. They had nowhere to go.
And in that moment, trapped, afraid, and out of options, everything was about to change. When the people saw the Egyptian army approaching, panic spread quickly. They cried out in fear. Some shouted at Moses, blaming him for bringing them out of Egypt. Others said they would have been better off staying slaves than dying in the wilderness. Fear made them forget how far they had already come. Moses, standing before the sea with a frightened crowd behind him, spoke words that must have sounded impossible at the time. "Do not be afraid," he said. "Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." Then God gave Moses a surprising command. He told Moses to lift his staff and stretch it out over the sea. That night, a strong wind began to blow. Slowly the waters of the Red Sea started to move apart. The sea split open, and dry land appeared where water had been just moments before. The path formed straight through the middle of the sea. Walls of water stood on both sides. With no other option, Moses led the people forward. Families walked together between the towering waters. They weren't just escaping danger, they were walking into something they had never seen before. The Egyptian army followed them into the sea, believing they could still capture the Israelites. But once the people safely reached the other side, Moses stretched out his staff again. The waters rushed back into place. The sea closed in, and the Egyptian army was completely destroyed. The threat was gone. The Israelites were free at last. On the far side of the Red Sea, the Israelites finally stopped running. They looked back and realized the danger that once chased them was gone forever. The people broke into songs of praise, celebrating their freedom and the power of God. The sea that once blocked their path had become the very thing that delivered them. This story is not just about a miracle from long ago. It's about moments we all face, times when we feel trapped, afraid, and unsure of how to move forward. The Israelites didn't cross the sea because they were fearless. They crossed because they trusted enough to take the next step. Moses didn't lead because he felt confident. He led because he believed that God would make a way, even when none was visible. The story of Moses and the Red Sea reminds us that when the road ahead looks impossible, the solution may appear only after we move forward in faith. Sometimes what feels like the end of the journey is actually the beginning of freedom. And that is why this story continues to be told, because it speaks to fear, hope, and the courage to step forward when the way ahead is unclear.